This is Wigston, South Wigston Driving Test Routes, and this is test route number 10, and it's number 10 of 15. And we're coming to the end of Tigers Road. We've just gone past the driving test centre. We've come into the end of Tigers Road, and we're turning right onto Saffron Road. And we'll get around this van here. Saffron Road's fairly clear today. It's not normally like this. There's normally quite a bit of traffic on it actually, particularly at the end here where it comes into Wigston, into South Wigston itself. But when we do get to the end of the road here where the traffic lights are, we're going to be turning left. You've got to consider whether you need a signal here. In actual fact, you don't need one, because once you're in this left lane here, there's no other way you can go other than left. So these lights are notoriously on red for some time. Let's hope that they change fairly quickly for us. When we do turn here, we'll be turning from Saffron Road into Blaby Road, and that's Blaby Road in South Wigston, fairly obviously. It shouldn't take too much longer. The red bands came on, and that's it. Now we've got the green light, and away we go. So we're going past where all the shops are. Going past where all the shops are in South Wigston here. It's a long straight road. So it'll just be just plod along. Again, not much traffic around this one. I'm not quite sure why. But what we're going to do next is we're going to turn right, and that's going to take us into Canal Street. There's a mini roundabout here. You'll know Canal Street because it's got the college. The new college there at the top, the Wigston campus. And along Canal Street also, it's McVitie's factory now. But when I was growing up, I'm sure it was a Jacobs. I'm sure when it was a Jacobs factory, if you worked in there, you could have as many biscuits as you wanted. You could just eat the biscuits. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know whether that's like a kind of myth, but that's what people used to say about that place. And people used to bring home bags of broken biscuits that they couldn't, package up and things. But anyway, I don't know whether that's still true. But that's what they used to say about that place. We're going to turn left when we get to the end of Canal Street here. This is quite a dodgy little junction actually, because there's always cars parked on the right there. That makes it difficult to see if it's clear to move out. So you might have to inch out bit by bit, but it will take you into Countesthorpe Road. And this Countesthorpe Road is quite bendy at this point. I'm going to go over a couple of speed bumps, and this is where the speed limit changes from 30 to 60, national speed limit now. Although, to do 60 around these bends and over these bridges, I don't know how wise that would be. In fact, I know it wouldn't be very wise. But since the road's flattened out now, we can see a bit further ahead. We can now go a bit quicker. Now on these test routes here, what you'll find is you'll come out onto these country roads quite a bit. And the reason they do that, the reason they've started to do this more and more and more now, is because there was a spate of people who had just recently passed having crashes on country roads, particularly on bends, because they weren't really trained properly on how to use them. And so they've decided they need to test people on that now. The speed limit has dropped to 40, and we're going to bring our speed down accordingly. And then when we get to the traffic lights down here, we're going to turn right. So we're on Countesthorpe Road, we've come out of South Wigston, and now we're turning right at the traffic lights into Hospital Lane. We've gone over the line on green, so that's fine. And again, Hospital Lane here, you'll see, is a 60-mile-an-hour road. So today there's a van in front of us, which means, you know, we're not going to be able to get up to 60. But the same thing applies. They want to see you here know how to deal with these bends and how to kind of have the confidence to get up to the speed of the traffic or up to the speed of the road. Basically what you do, as you know, as your instructor has said, is as you're coming into the bend, you're easing off and you're guiding the car around, and then you come out of the bend, you're increasing the gas. If you do that with each bend in the right manner, then you should be fine. People have accidents on these country roads, on these bends, because they go into the bend too quickly and they've got no control as they go around. So we've only managed to get up to 44. That's mainly because there's a van in front of us and there's vans in front of him as well along this Hospital Lane. And as we come at the end, toward the end of it, and now we're entering into where Blaby is, then you can see the speed limit will change from 60, which is national speed limit, down to 30. And here's where that happens. So make sure you're doing 30 or below before you pass the signs. And this will bring us to the end of Hospital Lane. And when we get to the end there, we're going to turn left. There's a mini roundabout at the end of this road. And we're going to turn left, and that will take us into Winchester Drive, or Winchester Road, should I say. Over the speed bumps. Another mini roundabout here, and we're going to go straight ahead, and we can do that. So that 4x4 is turning left, and here we go. So we'll be on this Winchester Road for quite some time, and it looks like it should be more than 30. Because we've got all hedges down one side here, there's no houses, they're set right back, and on the right hand side the houses are set back a little bit, not too far. It looks like it should be more than 30, but it isn't. Stay at 30. Make sure that you don't break the speed limit. Lots of people get caught out along this road on their driving tests where they've drifted from like 28, 29 up to 36 and not realised, just because of the way the road is. As we go over the speed bumps here, we can see there's another gateway. Gateway is where the speed limit changes. There's a sign on both sides of the road, so it's like you're going through a gateway from 30 to 40. And we can go a little quicker now. There's no more speed bumps. Again, we can go to a speed that's appropriate for that. So we've had lots of different speed limit changes, and here's another one. So it wasn't on 40 for very long, was it? But we're going back down to 30 again now. So there you go, over we go. So we're back down into a 30 zone. And that's a feature of this test route, although it's quite, you know, it's not a difficult one really. It's not like lots of turns and things. There are lots of different kind of pitfalls, and on this route it's mainly the speed limit changes and not really catching people out with that, but making sure that people have seen the changes in the speed limit and are prepared to, you know, follow those. We're just going past Countesthorpe Community College here now, and we're going to be turning right in a few seconds. These speed bumps are horrendous, and they're very bad for the car. I'm not a big fan. As a driver, I'm not a big fan, but I suppose as a pedestrian, particularly around schools, they're quite useful in making sure everybody slows down quite a bit. Okay, but here we are. We're going to turn right now, and that's going to take us from Winchester Road into Cosby Road. We've got to make sure we don't cut the corner here. Remembering that we're still in the 30 zone. We're still in the 30 zone. We're in Countesthorpe now, and we're going to come out of Countesthorpe, and well, we can see there's another gateway, another speed limit change. It's going to go from the 30 that we're at to the national speed limit, which for a country road with no lampposts is 60. And again, we've just got to show that we're confident about that, we're capable to go up to the speed of the road. And this is a fairly easy one, isn't it? So we can get the speed up on this one. Do that. The sign says there's a give way in 220 yards. And here it is. So we're going to turn right when we get to the end of this road. We're slowing down nice and early. Going to get into the first gear again, nice and early, so that we can creep up to the line and then creep out if it's clear, and it is clear. Very unusual for that to be clear. Very unusual for not to have to stop there. But this is Lutterworth Road. And this is a 60-mile-an-hour road, and it's quite busy as well, as you can see from the traffic on the opposite side of the road here now. So that's why it's quite unusual for you not to have to stop. It changes from 60 now. We're coming into where the houses are, so it comes back down to 50 at first. We're going to go straight ahead. There's a roundabout ahead of us. We're going to go straight ahead, and that's going to take us onto the Blaby Bypass. And that'll put us, first of all, in the left-hand lane. And now we can see the speed limit changes again down to 30. We want to be going quite slow for the roundabout anyway, don't we? We're looking for an opportunity here. There's one after the Volvo. And that's it. Taking the second exit. Keeping a good position on the roundabout itself. Coming off on the left lane. Again, we can see it changes to a 50 zone. Again, we've got to show that we've seen that, and we're quite happy with that. However, at the next roundabout, we're going to be turning right. And so what we need to do, first of all, is change lanes. So it's going to be mirrors, signal, mirror again, and then manoeuvre. Turning right at the roundabout. We're on Blaby Bypass at the moment. We're turning right. We're going to take the third exit. That's the first one. This is the second one, so we get level with the second one. We'll go mirrors, signal, mirror again, and move over. And that mirror again, that's the important one. Changing lanes there, aren't you? So we've changed lanes twice at that point. Mirror again, check the mirror again. That mirror again, that's called a lifesaver look. Your instructor will tell you about that, and if you don't do it, you won't pass. That's it. There you go, over the speed bump now. Not only if you don't do it, you won't pass, but also if you do it, you're going to make yourself safe. And at some point in your life, you'll save yourself from having quite a bad accident. It's one of the most important things about learning how to drive, is a lifesaver look. Make sure that you check the mirror again before you change lanes. So we're going over the speed bump here. That's it. This is Grove Road, by the way. We've turned from the Blaby Bypass into Grove Road, and lots of speed bumps around here, quite annoying things really for me. I'm going to turn left at the end of the road. So left at the end of Grove Road takes us into Lutterworth Road, excuse me, and now we're in Blaby itself. Take it nice and steady as we go through Blaby actually. We're going to come up to where the town centre, I suppose you could call it, the town centre in Blaby. Is Blaby a town? I don't know. District maybe. But there's a mini roundabout here, just as you come in, just past the Aldi's. So make sure you're in second gear. We'll just take ourselves through here. And a crossing. No one on the crossing, no one walking towards it. And then we're coming up to some traffic lights right in the centre of Blaby. And we're going to go straight ahead at those. And now we're coming up to another mini roundabout, and this is one of the most dangerous ones as well. It's very blind. We're going straight ahead, but on your right, it's very, very blind. Use first gear at this point and creep forward, because things will come out of Sycamore Street at a rate sometimes, and you need to be careful and vigilant of that, really. As we're now in Leicester Road, we're going to turn right on Leicester Road. We'll still be on Leicester Road, but we're turning right at this roundabout. Okay, and there we go. Taking us off and under the railway bridge. And then we're going to turn right at the traffic lights. So we'll be in the right hand lane this time to turn right at the lights. We're just easing forward. We're going to make sure we don't break any rules now. We've got the law in front of us. So I'm just going to wait here and wait for the junction to clear, really, or till I know that I can clear it. That police car has stopped on a yellow grid. Yes. I'm not going to tell him. There you go. So we're going to turn right at the lights here. This is Little Glen Road now. We're on Little Glen Road. Just going to follow the road. It's 30 mile an hour zone. Give a nice space from the car in front of us. And we're just coming up to where the chicanes are. We're just going to ease our way around those. See what this lorry's doing. He's fine. That's it. It does make the road quite narrow there, you see. Someone doing his daily exercise. There's going to be a couple of mini roundabouts that we're going to come up to next, and this is the first one of those. So there's a mini roundabout, a humpback bridge, and then another mini roundabout. We're going to go round the roundabout here. Not going to cut over it. say slow on the road, but we're already going quite slow. You know, we're only doing like 26, so our speed isn't excessive at all. Over the Humpback Bridge, another mini roundabout here, and we're going to go straight ahead of that. But again, we're not going to drive over the top of it, we are going to go around it like this. I make a note of that just because the police car again went straight over the top of both of those roundabouts. Again, I'm not going to tell him. We're just following the road around now, and it's bringing us in back towards where the test centre is, and you'll realise at this point that you are on the way back to the test centre, and sometimes it's easy for your concentration to drop, and for you to kind of miss things, because it'll all seem like, oh, it's over now, I'm coming to the end of it. But please don't do that. Please keep your concentration as high as you possibly can, and keep looking ahead and keep dealing with what's there. We'll be turning right at the traffic lights now. And so we're on Little Glen Road, and we're turning right into Saffron Lane. And again, so on that test route there, you can see there's lots of long roads, not many kind of turn left, turn right ones. So it's all about seeing the signs really, and the road markings, and making sure that you're keeping up with the traffic without breaking the speed limits, keeping up with the traffic and kind of noticing the signs and dealing with them, and you know, following what they're telling you to do. These lights are going to change fairly soon now, and that's going to take us into Saffron Road. There they go. Coming into Saffron Road here. Ask you then to turn left into Tigers Road. We just let this guy go across the road there, that's it. You're going to turn left into Tigers Road, and that's going to be just past this entrance to Paragon. I'm going to turn right then here, sorry, not right, left, don't turn right, you'll be in someone's front garden. So turn left into Tigers Road, and that's really test route number 10. It's 10 of 15. If you want to see the rest of them, just subscribe and you're away. All right, cheers guys.